life continues to be lifing, giving me that 1-2 punch. I really want to come back to this channel with like a happy, cute little vlog updating you about life in my 30s. But I guess we're just going to be a little realistic today. So I am currently in my apartment, which I am going to have to move out of. We just moved here. God, there's like so much to do and also just too much to do. We just moved in here in July. It's December, and we planned to, we basically planned to be here for at least like another year. Me and my husband move a lot, and so I was here. So I was just tired of moving. I'm going to grab my laundry. And so, actually, let me, there. I do my best, y'all. But anyways, we plan to be here for a while, and I literally last week just hung up all of our photos, like all of our like family photos and stuff, just hung them up because I'm like, we're going to be here for a while. So let me finally go ahead and hang up these photos. So I hang up the photos, and then this past Wednesday, we were supposed to be going to Chicago, and instead of being in Chicago, we had to take Zach to like a same day like ENT, which is an ear, nose, throat doctor, because he was coughing up black mucus. And so basically he probably has a fungal infection, and a fungal infection can be deadly if not treated. So Zach is super sensitive to mold. And a couple of weeks ago, it actually flooded here, and they really didn't do anything. They just came, they sucked up the water, and then they left, but there was still like water coming out from a couple of like underneath the walls and stuff, because it had rained for like 4 or 5 days, like nonstop. And I think the ground just got oversaturated because we technically like live up on a hill. So it was very surprising, very shocking. But they didn't do like any other type of remediation, no dehumidifiers, nothing. And we live in an older apartment, so it has the original windows. They don't open. The only window that opens is upstairs in our bedroom. And so anyways, we take him to the doctor. He has that. So he's on a bunch of meds, and he's going to have to get, like, his sinuses were so swollen, like they couldn't even see anything. So he's on a bunch of meds. And he's going to have to go get a CAT scan in next week, I think. But basically, we have to move out. So that is so freaking annoying because, like, we have just moved so much. And in our last apartment, which we lived there, we had to break our lease. We had a 2-year lease there. We had to break our lease because our neighbors were absolutely insane, and it basically just made it like not safe for me to be living there, especially because I work from home and Zach was going into the office. And, you know, I was really upset because I had built like an entire garden there because it was like, it was a duplex, and I'd built an entire garden. I'd done, you know, like done all this stuff because I really love that, only for us to have to literally tear all that out, because that's a lot of money. Okay, if I'm not going to live there, the next people aren't getting my gardening things for free. But basically there, the neighbors were crazy, and they were like, it was more of like well, here's the details. The neighbors were, the guy who actually owned the place, he was illegally like doing like short-term rentals. And so he let some people stay there, and they were going to stay there for a couple months. And they were just basically probably running drugs and doing stuff. And, you know, like, we mind our business. But, like, once you bring your business over into our area, then it becomes our business. I'm exhausted. I hate doing laundry with a passion. So, one night, the neighbors, let me put you, I need you to just be slightly taller. Here we go. Ah! So, one night, I'm at home by myself. Zach is at improv. And so I'm cooking dinner, you know, minding my business. Bam, 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 on the door. Look through the Ring camera. Our neighbor is shirtless, drunk, banging on our front door. And I'm home by myself. And I almost answered the door because I thought it was Zach. And then I looked at the time and I was like, one, why would Zach be banging on the door? He has a key. But then two, like, I looked at the time, I was like, he shouldn't be out of class yet. So I looked through the camera, yeah, and it's our shirtless neighbor banging on the door. And so the story gets even worse because the day before that, and he was saying, like, he wanted to come over and talk to Zach about what happened the day before. So what had happened the day before that was that I had to call the cops because there was a lady who clearly was, on drugs, and she was, like, falling around in the street. And so, and this is happening, like, in my front yard. And so we do, you know, it's St. Louis, and, like, down the street, you know, it's a little, what we call the ghetto schnooks. But, you know, people didn't really, like, come into the neighborhood area. So, like, I didn't think it was, like, I thought it was odd, but, like, I was like, okay, if they're this, you know, like, out of their mind, like, they really could have came down the street. And the neighbor, same guy, was out there, like, talking to her. And I you know, I'm being nosy at first because I'm looking, I'm like, what is happening? And I see him throw away a bag of her stuff because there's a big dumpster across the street. Where, like, the people across the street were doing construction. And so I see him take, like, she had, like, a, you know, like, one of those paper bags, but, like, that you get, like, if you go shopping, and it has, like, the little handle, like a paper gift bag type of thing. And it's, like, full. And I see him throw that into the dumpster, and I'm up there, like, and then she starts, like, getting belligerent. So I got downstairs, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And I see her try to, like, attack basically one of the neighbors that had pulled up to try to get out their car. And so I called the police. She's stumbling all over the place. And it took like 40 minutes for the police to come. I had to call twice. And they bring an ambulance, and then the ambulance people couldn't get her because she was being, like, very, like, violent. So then the police finally come, like, after a freaking hour. And it takes like 6 grown men, and this woman's smaller than me, right? It takes like 6 grown men to get her on the gurney to, like, take her off. And so they take her away, and, like, I got that. And this is before the drunk thing happened, before, you know, I'm just like, you know, the neighbors are a little sketchy, but, you know, we're giving them the benefit of the doubt. And so I go out, once they take her, I go out, talk to the neighbors, because there's, like, cops around. I was like, I don't know if the cops are going to want to talk to me. And so, and even though he threw away the bag, that should have been a red flag, but I, like, wasn't thinking, like, anything of it. And so I talked to him, and he's like, oh yeah, she punched me in the face, gave me a black eye. And I'm like, that lady, and this is like a decently big dude. Like, he's probably like 5'10", like, decently muscular. And I'm like, that little lady gave you a black eye? Like, I was like, she, like, could barely stand, like, out there. So I was just very surprised. I was like, if you just saw her out on the street, because he was like, I'm trying to help her, and she gave you a black eye, like, okay, maybe she just caught him off guard or something. So because I'm nosy and it was happening right outside my house, I'm going on my Ring camera, right? Go back. And at the time, we only had, like, it only recorded for like 3 hours or whatever. So I go back, and what do I see? I see that lady, very sober, a very sober version of that lady, in the same outfit that she's wearing when she was out on the street, walk into our neighbor's house with none other than that same guy. Okay. So, and I'm just like, so I'm recording, you know, I screen recorded it. And then I'm calling the police back because then I realized the shirt that he was wearing when he walked into the house was the shirt that she was wearing when she was out in the street. And then her pants were like ripped. And when I say they were ripped, I mean they were like torn. She's wearing like not like gauchos, but imagine if gauchos were longer. I can't think of the word for them, but she's wearing like those type of like pants, and they were like the sides were like ripped apart. And that was only like an hour before I saw her in the street. And she walked into that house and she was sober. She's sober. She was fully dressed. And then I noticed, I was like, oh, wait, I think from the colors that like she was wearing, because I could see, I was like, what did he throw away? So the shirt that she was wearing, it was like a blue shirt or something. That was one of the things that he took from her and like chucked into that bin, that dumpster. So I called the police back. I'm like, I think you should know this info. I have no idea what they did. We contacted, like, I told them about what I saw, him throwing the stuff in the dumpster, because he was like, I don't know her. And I was like, well, he did know her, most likely her, and then, you know, hurt her. And so we literally like packed up and moved like in a week. So that was this past July. We packed up, we moved within a week to this spot right here. And so it's close to my husband's work, and we stayed here, and we really love our neighbors here. They're super nice. And so when it flooded, I was like, that was the first thing. I was like, oh God, like it's happening again. So it flooded, and then I was like, oh, there's probably, and at this time, Zach had been having some like weird sinus issues. And of course he's a man, so he didn't go to the doctor sooner. But he doesn't have, like, I have a lot of allergies, and he has like almost no allergies basically. So when he started having a lot of sinus issues, it was kind of odd. And he, like, since we moved here, he's gotten sick like a bunch, just like a lot of like colds and things like that. So it was odd, but he also is like back in the office. So he's like, okay, maybe I'm just getting sick from interacting, you know, with people more. And so all of that led up to this, which led up to us needing to move. And I will tell you what, I hate it because I'd taken time off from my business. Well, I didn't take time off from my business. I block off this time of year, like during the holidays, like a month off, just so I can like kind of prepare for next year. I don't like doing things during the holidays, so I don't structure my business in a way that like I need to do things during the holiday season. I was in the middle of like trying to hire somebody, and it's just, God, it's just been awful. And I'm really over it at this point. So now, Zach, obviously he's not here. He's in the office. And then we have to stay at my mom's house, which is like 40 minutes away. Which I think that's the very first video on the channel was from my mom's house, which is funny, but now we're back there. And we're staying there. We have to bring all the pets with us. And it's like a whole it's a whole thing. And I really, really hate it. And I also have like doctor's appointments and stuff, which I want to talk about on here. I'm going to vlog about because they're just not like normal doctor appointments, but that'll probably be in the next video. But I really wanted to, gosh, I was just like, I'm going to do life in my 30s. I want to update you guys. I want to share things. Like I miss being on YouTube. I miss this. And I really want to come and be like, oh my God, here's all these exciting, you know, like things I'm doing. And then life's like, no. God. Oh, and then work is also crazy, which I can't talk about, but like, just know that it's insane. And my flabber has been gasted. Okay. Like, oh my God. Okay. Well, I I honestly, like, I love talking. And I just watched a YouTube video about like how vlogging now is just kind of doing your everyday life and like telling stories and stuff. So I was like, you know what? I got a story to tell. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. But I gotta be here. I gotta pack. I gotta work. I gotta get ready. Luckily, my job is very accommodating. And it's the slower part of the year, and everything's kind of like I already got everything kind of set as far as my team goes. So I don't have to worry too much about that. So I can do my appointments. I can look for an apartment. I can do all this stuff and don't really have to like worry about work too much, just because my team's in a good spot. So that's nice. But yeah, so now I gotta pack. I gotta do so many things. And I just don't. Well, anyways, I'm glad to be back. I really like, I don't know, I just never thought like my life was like interesting enough to vlog and or talk about. But then I see people on this app just talking about anything. So I know my glasses are blue. It's so I don't die from looking at a computer every day. Gosh. All right. Well, bye guys. It's glad to be back. Let me know what you've been up to. I think the last time I posted a video was like a year ago. Oh, also my hair's red, obviously. If you follow me on Instagram, well, I'd be posting pictures on there, but if you follow me on Instagram, then you've already seen my hair. But I need to fill it in because you see how it's dark up there and then hella dark down here. Anyways, that's all. Bye guys.